The Demon King Zahhak. The Birth of Feraydun. Zahhak's days were filled with unease and dread. Though his armies scoured the land for Feraydun, the prophecy he feared could not be undone. In this shadow of despair, the noble Feraydun was born, and with his arrival, hope was renewed. Feraydun grew swiftly, as straight and tall as a cypress. He radiated a divine brilliance, the far of kingship that marked him as destined for greatness. The heavens themselves seemed to favor him, showering him with blessings as if nurturing a seedling meant to grow into a mighty tree. At the same time, a miraculous cow named Barmea was born. Her beauty was unmatched. Her coat shimmered with hues of every color, like a living rainbow. Scholars, priests, and astrologers marveled at her, declaring that no such creature had ever graced the earth. But Zahhak's paranoia darkened the world. His relentless search for Feraydun led to tragedy. Feraydun's father, Abiton, was captured by Zahhak's soldiers, accused of treason, and executed without mercy. Grieving and terrified, Feraydun's mother, Feranak, sought refuge in the meadows where Barmea grazed. She approached the herdsman who cared for the cow, her heart heavy with sorrow. "Please take my son. Protect him as if he were your own. Let him drink Barmea's milk and grow strong under your care. I will give you anything, my life itself, if you will keep him safe." The herdsman, moved by her desperation, swore to protect Feraydun. For 3 years, he raised the boy in secrecy, feeding him the miraculous milk of Barmea. Yet rumors of the cow's magnificence spread, and Zahhak's spies brought word of it to their king. Realizing the connection, Zahhak descended upon the meadows in a frenzy of destruction. Like a maddened beast, he slaughtered Barmea and all the animals nearby, leaving a trail of devastation. Feranak, sensing the danger, acted swiftly. She returned to the herdsman and took her son, saying, "Zahhak's madness spreads across the land, but God has given me wisdom and courage. I must flee with my boy to the Alborz Mountains, where even Zahhak's reach cannot find us." Carrying Feraydun, Feranak fled as swiftly as a mountain deer. Her journey brought her to a secluded hermit, a devout man who had renounced the world. She pleaded with him, saying, "This child will one day free our people. He will strike Zahhak down and bring justice to the land. I entrust him to your care. Protect him as though he were your own soul." The hermit agreed, taking Feraydun under his protection. Meanwhile, Zahhak arrived at the now deserted meadow, his rage unquenched. He razed the herdsman's home to the ground, leaving only ash and ruin. Yet, despite his cruelty, Zahhak could not extinguish the light of hope. Feraydun remained hidden, growing stronger each day, destined to fulfill his fate. Feraydun questions his mother about his lineage. When Feraydun reached the age of 16, he descended from the rugged heights of the Alborz Mountains to confront his mother, Feranak. His voice was steady, but his eyes burned with curiosity and longing. "Mother," he began, "I must know the truth. Who was my father? Who am I? What blood flows through my veins? What lineage do I belong to? Tell me all that you know." Feranak gazed at her son, her heart heavy with memories. She said, "My son, you are a child of Iran. Your father was Abiton, a noble descendant of Tammuz, a wise and gentle man who harmed no one. He was my joy, my partner, the brightness of my days. But Zahhak, the tyrant steeped in sorcery, sought your life. To protect you, your father gave his own. In those dark days, I fled with you in my arms to a hidden meadow. There, I found a miraculous cow, Barmea, as beautiful as a spring garden, and a herdsman who cared for her like a king. I entrusted you to him, and for years, he nourished you with her milk, raising you as his own. You grew strong and fearless, destined for greatness. But Zahhak's cruelty reached even that sacred meadow. He killed Barmea, the kind, silent creature who had nurtured you. He burned our home to the ground and left nothing but ashes behind. This, my son, is the truth of your lineage and the trials that brought you here. Hearing his mother's words, Feraydun leaped to his feet, his face alight with fury. His heart, once filled with innocence, now burned with a desire for vengeance. With God as my witness, he declared, I will not rest until Zahhak's palace lies in ruins. His cruelty ends with me. I will raise my sword and bring justice to our people. Feraydun, though proud of his resolve, placed a calming hand on his arm. My son, she said, your courage is undeniable, but wisdom must guide your actions. Zahhak rules with a vast army. His power stretches across the world. A single lion, no matter how brave, cannot fight an army alone. You are young, and youth often sees the world through its own narrow lens. I want nothing but joy and prosperity for you. Reckless action will only lead to ruin. Feraydun listened but could not quiet the storm in his heart. He resolved that when the time was right, he would rise against Zahhak, not as a reckless youth, but as a man guided by courage, wisdom, and the favor of the heavens. Kaveh the Blacksmith and Zahhak the Tyrant. The shadow of fear loomed over Zahhak's heart. For day and night, the name Feraydun haunted him. Though a king ruling over 7 kingdoms, Zahhak could not silence the terror of a prophecy foretelling his downfall. Seated on his ivory throne, adorned with a turquoise crown, Zahhak summoned the noblemen and sages of his realm. Great men of wisdom, Zahhak declared, an enemy lurks in the shadows, a threat to my reign. Though unseen, I will not underestimate this foe. To secure my power, I must expand my armies with men and demons alike. But first, I demand a testament from you all, a declaration of my righteousness, my justice, and my truth. Fearing Zahhak's wrath, the nobles signed the false document, praising the tyrant's virtues. Just then, the cry of a man seeking justice echoed through the court. A blacksmith named Kaveh was brought before the king, his face aflame with righteous anger. I am Kaveh, he announced, striking his fists against his head. You, Zahhak, are the cause of my suffering. King or monster, what are you? My sons have been sacrificed to feed the serpents that grow from your shoulders. Do you reign to protect us, or to destroy us? Answer me. The court fell silent, and Zahhak, stunned by Kaveh's defiance, returned the blacksmith's remaining son to him. Hoping to quell his fury, Zahhak ordered Kaveh to sign the testament. But Kaveh, unyielding, read the document and roared at the assembly. You are in the clutches of demons. You've sold your souls to this tyrant. I will not sign my name to such corruption. In a fit of rage, Kaveh tore the document in two and stormed out of the palace, his son by his side. In the marketplace, he raised his blacksmith's leather apron on a spear, declaring, Rise, noble men. If you stand with Feraydun, cast off Zahhak's chains. This king is a servant of Ahriman, an enemy of God. The people rallied to Kaveh's call, and an army formed around him. He led them toward Feraydun, who welcomed Kaveh with open arms. Feraydun saw the apron as a sign of victory and adorned it with brocade, jewels, and silks, transforming it into the Kaviani banner, a symbol of justice and hope. Meanwhile, Feraydun prepared for battle. He turned to his 2 brothers, Kiyanush and Barmea, and instructed them to commission a mighty weapon. Using his own hand, he sketched an ox-headed mace in the dust. Blacksmiths worked tirelessly to craft it, and when it was complete, it gleamed like the sun. Feraydun held the mace high and proclaimed, If I can strike down Zahhak and end his tyranny, I will guide the world back to justice. May God's name be remembered, for from him all justice flows. Thus began the march of Feraydun, with Kaveh and the people by his side, toward the battle that would reshape the destiny of the world.